Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm Jeff Dover. With me is John Barban. Let's talk football.
Yep, this is the NFL Week 8 preview. So these are the games we are going to watch and we are going to be betting on or give our take on the lines.
So new thing this week. We're throwing in some betting picks, some lines, some thoughts on the line movement.
We got to spice it. Yeah, we got to spice it up with the NFL. It's just they just can't produce enough good games compared to college. There's games in college I'll watch regardless if we're betting on them, but the NFL, you got to spice it up somehow. Mm-hmm. So maybe this is why people bet on the NFL, because the games
don't want our relationship to get stale. Well, I need to spice something up in the bedroom so make it a little more interesting.
That's right. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. All right, so shall I start?
Yeah.
So Vikings at Rams. Who the hell would watch this game if they weren't betting on it? So Vikings -3. Is there something I'm not understanding here?
I was thinking the same
Lay
thing.
the points with the Vikings. What on earth is going? I'm expecting this to be a 2-score win at least.
What are the Rams going to have? What have they done in the last couple of weeks to make you think that they could compete with Minnesota? I don't. It's not like SoFi Stadium's good, but I don't think there's a huge home field there.
Isn't. I've been there. It's not good.
Right. It's not like Seattle or Minnesota or something. So, yeah, that one I didn't understand at all. I don't know. I'm all over. I think that line's going to change. I can't believe it's still going to be Minnesota -3 come the Sunday, or Thursday, I guess. But it's the, to have it 3 and not 3.5 is sort of a big deal. So 3, like a field goal. Yeah, I think I could take Minnesota with that.
And there's obviously Vegas has some information we don't, because on its face, that just seems like a ridiculous line.
Yeah, and again, I don't know what LA's done. Like they beat the Raiders, but like as we said in our review show, like the Raiders had 4 turnovers, and then before that they lost the Packers and the Bears and the Cardinals. Like and then the Niners, who isn't exactly a great team. So it's not like, yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. So someone knows something. They're really putting. It feels like they're putting a lot on the home field, which is, unless there's injured people coming back that I don't know of or something for the Rams, but it doesn't seem like that.
After the Vikings game against the Lions, who would take the Rams here?
Yeah, like the Vikings easily could have won that game. Like it's and be 6-0. So I don't.
Well, I don't know why anyone would watch this game if they're not betting on it. But there you go. Yeah. I'm laying the points at the Vikings. What do you got?
Yeah, that was my first one on the list too, and it was. But we covered it. Like I think Sam Darnold. Like I don't know what would this line been if Minnesota had won the game against Detroit. Like if Detroit misses the field goal and they're 6-0, is
I don't think
Minnesota
that affects...
only favored by the field goal? I feel like it does. I think people have recency bias, and I think that's baked into some of these lines here because some of them it just doesn't make any sense, but. Okay, so the next game, and this one, it's hard to explain how much I would not watch this game if there was no money involved.
Well, I bet you I got it here too.
It's because it's Arizona at Miami.
Oh, no! Wow! I couldn't.
And it was. I think some of Miami's like family and parents of the players aren't going to watch this one.
Wait,
like, I don't. It's
yeah. So they're like, I'm going to go grocery shopping. There's just no way.
So both quarterbacks played. Huntley and Broyle played for Miami last week. They didn't look good. I don't know what it is about what Miami's done, to warrant being favored in this game.
Miami's 3.5.
Yeah. So
wow.
It's and I
48.5 is the.
I don't think Arizona's that bad. Like they've lost to the Packers, Commanders, and Lions. But they beat the Rams. They beat the 49ers. Like it's like, they have a losing record, but I don't, they've beaten bad teams and they've lost to good teams. And so Miami is not a good team. So I don't know why Miami, do you have Miami -3.5 where you are?
Yeah, I got -3.5.
I got a -3. So I'll take the 3.5 and take Arizona with that one.
Sure.
So.
I mean, okay, let's just put this in context. Miami's laying points with Tyler Huntley over Kyler Murray.
Yeah. Now it's at Miami again.
That's a lousy home field advantage. That's one of the worst in the league.
Yeah, unless it's I don't get
Marvin Harrison's still injured?
I don't know. That's a great question.
I don't know. I'm staying away from that one. Again, utterly unwatchable game. I guess if you bet on it, it might be worth watching. It's probably still not worth watching if you bet on it. All right. I got Titans at the Lions, another why would you watch this game? In that one, I'm got the over 45.5. The Lions
Ooh, look
the
at you
Lions
go.
might hit
All
that
right.
over by themselves.
Mm.
Like I'm sure the Titans got some pieces on defense, but that's just a terrible team. I don't know. I don't see. I don't know. Taking the over there again. I don't know why anyone would watch that game, but if you're betting on it, maybe you will.
Yeah, 45 is. I'm worried that Detroit's going to be handling them and then really sit on the ball, which happens a lot in the NFL. Do you know what I
I don't
mean?
think
Like,
Dan Campbell does that.
no, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, he
That was
doesn't
another
seem
reason.
to.
That was what this would be one of my, all right, I'll throw it on the card. This is going to be my teaser. So I was going to do the 6-point teaser. So bring it down. So it'd be like Detroit -6 or -5.5. And then over like 39.5. Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I do for, because that I feel like is stealing. But yeah. But I know we've had bad luck with teasers before.
I was just about to say, Dover, every time it feels like we're stealing, it really doesn't turn into stealing.
So,
all right, what do you got next?
Okay, so all right, here's another one that I feel like someone knows something that we don't. So it's Chicago at Washington. So Washington was a complete team. They killed the Carolina, which is not a good team, but it was with their backup quarterback, and they looked like they were firing in all three phases of the game. So this is Chicago at Washington. Chicago's favored by 1. So the only thing that makes me nervous about this is that Chicago is coming off a bye, which I think really makes a big deal in the NFL because there's a lot of bumps and bruises and people are banged up. And I think you're going to be really fresh coming off the bye, whereas Washington isn't. But I still think Washington at home with whoever is going to play, I'm fine with Daniels or Mariota. I think they've showed they've really been a complete team. And I think Caleb Williams is still good for an interception or two. And this I think will be one of the better defenses he's faced too.
This has to be all the Daniels thing. Just has to be.
I think so. But I mean, I think the backups look fine. But again, coming back to the because Chicago is a winning record, they're 4-2, but who have they beaten? It's been the Titans, Rams, Panthers, and Jaguars, right? It's like they lost to the Texans and the Colts. So they haven't. This will be the best team they've played by far. So I think I'll give it to I'll take Washington plus the 1.
Yeah, I won't go near that game. I got the next one. I got the Giants at Steelers, laying the points with the Steelers. The Giants are horrific, and I got them at -6.5 Steelers.
Yeah, so still under a touchdown, which is
under
bad.
Touchdown, and the way. Okay, so recency bias. I'll totally admit it. If what Wilson did against the Jets is any indication of how they can look on offense, if they can do that again, I can see them covering this. No problem. And the Giants offense, again, recency bias again, it was horrifically bad. So and the Steelers defense is good. So it all lines up for them to cover this, at least for me. So,
yeah, it was, that's a good call. I had this one on the card as well. And it was also where the recency bias, I think is not necessarily a bias, is they benched Jones, and there might be, I don't want to say dissension in the locker room, but this is the part where they've played so poorly. There's going to be factions potentially in the locker room about preferring one option for another or what they should be doing and stuff, because it's really disappointing to work that hard and to be that awful, at football. Do you know what I mean? And so they haven't scored more than 7 points the last 2 weeks, so I think that's going to be a real problem. So yeah, I had the Pittsburgh. This is also one I considered teasing because you could make it Pittsburgh -0.5, essentially a pick 'em, and then over 30 points, which would be crazy low.
No,
I think Pittsburgh could do that on their own, but yeah, I'll just take Pittsburgh -6.5 as well.
I was seriously contemplating taking the under 36.5, which is a crazy under to go. But the way the Giants are playing,
you know what? That would even be better. Would be putting it up to 42.5 and then taking. Okay,
you got to stop it with the teasers. You got to stop with the teasers.
Yeah, it's a fair game, Barban. No, you're right. And this one, unlike the point you made about Detroit, if Pittsburgh's up by 2 scores, they absolutely will sit on the ball, right?
No, they'll just sit on them. Yep.
Yeah, so that's entirely possible for that one too. But yeah, that's man, if you just wanted a rock fight of a game, then welcome to next week's
And
Monday
Tomlin
night
will
game.
be happy to just keep it like that.
Oh, just the bigger the rock, the better. They can barely throw it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I got Eagles at Bengals. This is a game actually worth watching. And I'll lay the points with the Bengals at home, partly because, not because I think they're significantly better than the Eagles, but they're still in utter desperation mode.
Mm-hmm.
They just to get back into this season, they need this game. The Eagles are 4-2, so I'm not saying they're gearing down or anything, but the Bengals are completely in desperation mode. They still have a losing record. For any way to get back into this race to get into the playoffs, they just have to have this game. Their last game was not that impressive. I mean, they beat the Browns, which we've just saw what happened with Watson. The Browns are a lousy team, maybe the worst team in the league. So the Bengals still got plenty to prove, and this is a legit team they're up against here. The Eagles just had a completely dominating win. So I guess it almost sounds like I'm talking my way into betting on the Eagles here. But
I was gonna say,
actually, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Nobody actually follow my betting lines. But the Bengals have to win this game. The Eagles don't, I guess, have to win, given how crappy the Eagles division is. But the Bengals have to win this game to keep up with the Ravens. So to me, it's just pure desperation, and it's at home. So I'll just lay the points with the Bengals.
Yeah, this one, I was tempted with the Eagles again. This one, for all the reasons you just said, even though you're taking Cincinnati, but you're right, Cincinnati. You know what? They've won 3 out of 4, and the desperation is in. Their defense has been played pretty well, so I don't know how much they'll have to score in order to win this game either. I'm staying away from the spread, but I was going to take the under. I think both defenses have been playing really well, and I think 47.5 is it's on the high end. So I'd probably take the under on this one.
I was looking at that too, and then I guess this is just what all people who bet do. Then I thought, I'm going to take the under with Burrow and Hurts. Like, that just seems like the wrong under to take, but
not this season, I don't think.
Not this season. Yeah. But the day I take the under, one of those two guys, if not both, are going to explode for their best game of the year. So
I'm betting on the defenses because I think both defenses are legit.
Yeah.
So,
and I would say that's more consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. What do you got?
I think that's it for me. That's all I got.
Right, I got one more. I got Falcons at Bucs. I'm gonna go over 48.5.
Wow, really?
Well, the Bucs put up a lot of points.
It is the highest total of the week. So
when you say it like that, that just sounds like a dumb bet.
But no, but it's just to be clear, there's a couple other 48.5s, but that's as high as it goes.
But the okay. So the Bucs are putting up points. The Falcons can put up points.
Yes.
And I'm going to go opposite of the recency bias. Just because they had a lousy game this past game, I don't think that's indicative of just they're going to just keep being that bad. And the Bucs can give up points. So
and at Tampa, I don't think weather's going to be an issue either. That could be a thing where it would sometimes would wreak havoc a little bit. So,
and who knows? Maybe Penix comes in and has an amazing game. Either way, I'm taking the over there. A lot to do with just the Bucs firepower right now. And
what's
just
the over under Penix 1 pass attempt?
No, I don't know. I'm gonna take the over on that too.
Yeah, right. Probably.
Yeah.
At least if you're betting with your heart.
Yeah. So that's all I got for picks. You got any more picks?
Nope, that's it for me.
And then as far as games that we normally preview that we would want to watch, I can't even find a game on the schedule that's interesting to watch without betting. You know what? Okay, one we didn't cover is Bills Seahawks. Both teams coming off good wins. So maybe that's a game worth watching. I mean, I'll watch that one, even though I'm not betting on it. I'll watch that one.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams look good last week, so we'll see. Shut up, man. We'll see how that goes. And you know what's really sad? A game that I had circled all year long that I don't even know if I'm going to watch is the Cowboys 49ers.
Yes.
That has become a clown show now. Who cares what happens here?
That's a great example, another good comparison between Saturday versus Sunday, whereas like this season here's a good comparison. So the Michigan Ohio State game is always a big game. This year, Michigan is barely going to be 500 probably by the time they play that game. and it's still going to be big because if Ohio State loses, it would be devastating.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it's unlikely and Ohio State's going to be heavily favored, you would still watch it. And that's the difference between that and NFL. Like the NFL, when you're just having a down season, it just makes it less interesting to watch. So that game, like you said, the Dallas San Fran usually is a pretty marquee game of the season, but that's, not really not going to move the needle this week.
San Fran is laying 5.5. I wouldn't go anywhere near this.
No, I don't know which team's going to show up. I don't know if it's going to be the San Fran that has all the turnovers.
That's got to move when we find out who's actually injured and who's actually playing.
Hopefully. Yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah. Jeez.
But is that hold on, let me just
it's in San Francisco.
Yeah, let me just check something. That's another one with Dallas coming off the bye. So I feel like I'd lean more Dallas on that one than San Fran, especially if it went any higher. But
put that horrific loss in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just two teams limping into this game, completely underwhelming and completely not meeting preseason expectations, and not even close. Like they just look terrible. They're not in the same league as I would say the entire NFC North is just better than them. I don't care that the Bears haven't played anybody good. I'd watch them. I'd take anybody in that division right now over either of these teams.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, that's what we got for our NFL week. What is that? 8 preview.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see if any of those, we'll keep a chart here and we'll see if any of our bets actually come through. So stick around for on Wednesday this week. We're going to do our NCAA preview, best bets, best games, and we'll cover the Monday night, the reaction to the Monday night games because we're recording this right now on Monday, so we don't have a chance to cover Monday night yet. What do you got? Anything else?
Nope, that's it. And if you like what you hear, please like and subscribe to the video. It really helps.
Yep. All right. We'll catch you guys on Wednesday.